We just acquired a company, so we're now 100 employees with 70 contractors and about 32 million in revenue.
What? Congratulations!
The acquisition just went through like a month ago, so that was pretty exciting because we originally just did permanent staffing and we just added on contract staffing for the first time. So it was my first acquisition. I'd never done that before, but
that must have been exciting.
It was very stressful, actually. I got a twitch. I still have it. I'm hoping it's going to go away. I have no idea why or when it started, but sometime close to the end of the acquisition.
Success is hard work. We all know that. But I think you need to bring a work ethic to the table. Tell us about your work ethic.
I would say, so it's hard to say like what, my work ethic. I don't really know anything different. I didn't grow up in a household with any money. I took my first vacation because my grandparents who took us. And my dad was an entrepreneur, and a moderately successful one, but we were definitely like lower middle class. So I was never, I had a paper route when I was 11. I worked, through every year of school. I played a lot of sports. I played 2 varsity sports in high school, and so when my kids tell me now, like, I'm not going to be able to get a job because I'm going to be playing sports, I'm like, you can get a job and play sports. Babe, it's possible. I did it. You can do it. You're going to do it. I think that I just didn't know anything different. So I've always sort of just worked hard, and I do find that I often work at a pace faster than other people, and I think that's helped me a lot. I get a lot more done, I think, in a couple hours than other people get done in more. And I think it's maybe the twitch now is helping me.
You are a warrior for gender equality, and your company, and you particularly, are working on wage transparency legislation. I wanted to be sure to ask you this. It fires you up. Talk about it.
Yeah, I think, so we're a 5-time winner of the Inc. 5000 fastest growing private companies. So we've made it 5 years in a row. And I went to the first year of the conference, and there are only 14% of the 5,000 companies are female CEOs. And I was really disenfranchised with that. And they were celebrating the fact that the number had grown by 1% year over year. And they wanted me to stand up, and I stood up and I was like, what the hell are we standing up for? 1% for Christ's sake. So I actually took out a napkin, I was doing the math, and I was like, 1% growth is gonna make, we'll get to 50-50, like, I don't know, 25-50, something like that, ridiculous. So that really irritated me, quite honestly, and I think I decided about 5 years ago that I was going to use my platform as a CEO of a pharmaceutical company, or a pharmaceutical recruiting company, as a platform for gender equality. So when you think about Pharmalogics recruiting, I hope you equally think about women in leadership and gender parity and pay equity, and that women are doing really great things and that they're extremely important to the success of an overall business. My company, we've got about 65% of our employees are female, over 70% of our management staff is female, and I sit on a board as well as the 25% of that board. So I'm living that. I'm trying to live that life, and I'm trying to show others that it's possible, and that your company can be really successful if you do so, if you include women at the table.
You created the hashtag Do It For Our Daughters. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so Do It For Your Daughters it's sort of led into, right now we would love to encourage all of you to go to our website, www.wagetransparency.org. Do It For Your Daughters was the beginning of our thinking about how we can promote women in leadership. That's now led to an initiative that my company is sponsoring along with Josh Cutler, who's a South Shore native. He and I are working on some legislation to push the current pay equity legislation that passed last year even further. So we're hoping for 2021 we'll actually get it on the legislation agenda. Essentially, what we're asking Massachusetts to do is to allow employees to ask what the pay range is of the role that they're in. And it would be very powerful for you to know where you sit on that range against your peers. So that's what we're asking for, and if you go on our website, wagetransparency.org, you can learn all about what we're doing, what we're asking for, and the progress that we're making.
That's unbelievable. This is a pretty powerful success story. So what do you wish you knew when you first got started? And can you share that with our audience today?
Yeah, I wish I knew how painful it was going to be.
Honestly, the twitch and all that, right?
The twitch and all that. Yeah. I didn't anticipate it being as hard as it's been, quite frankly. I grew up we were just me and my sister, so we never had like only boys can do things. It was always like we can do anything we want. So I was brought up with those values that anything was possible. And then when I started my company, I was like, well, not everything's really possible. I mean, it's not. I had this big dream. It was me alone, and I put up the mission was to be the #1 biopharmaceutical recruiting company in the world. I actually really thought I could do that. Like, in my little head, I was like, that's totally possible. What's really interesting is right now with this acquisition, we're actually the top 3 life science, we're the 3rd largest life science firm in the nation.
You see, you visualize it.
Visualize it, you go for it. But I didn't anticipate the pain along the way, and I think there's, I just think if you have a healthy dose of understanding that it isn't going to be easy, but that you will succeed anyway, and it is really, I've so been grateful, and I think grateful is a really nice word, it was mentioned earlier, but so grateful for the journey, and I've become, as I've gotten older, much more appreciative of that this too shall pass, that this struggle is really important.
Yes.
The thing that I'm really worried about will be a teaching moment for me. So there'll be a silver lining, and that's been true. It's really been true.
At this point in your life then, in this chapter, because don't you guys all agree that we have chapters in our lives? Right where you are right now then, what does success mean to you?
A grateful heart, I think, is what success is. I think it's really, really easy, especially where we live. We have no wants, really. It's just, our needs are all met. We have only wants. And so I think that if I stopped right now, like if my life were to end tomorrow, I do feel like I've done the best I possibly could with what I had. I've been the best partner and friend and parent that I could be. And so I'm trying to live my life very gratefully for what's happened, and I know that will propel me forward in my next, endeavor.
And my final question, take a look at these 16 life lessons. You guys all have them on your tables. Which one resonates for you? And can you let us know?
Well, I brought it up just in
good.
case, because I thought turning around. Although turning around would show the back of the dress. So maybe I'll just do that. Baby steps are better than no steps at all. And I've said this a lot before. I think as women, we often don't get started. We have these great ideas and these things we want to accomplish, and then our mind starts thinking and telling you all the reasons why it can't happen. And you see obstacles, and you make up obstacles, and oftentimes what's preventing us from moving forward is ourselves. And so little steps go a long way on your journey, and they add up to be really big miles. And so I just encourage everyone, if you have a dream, or if there's something that you think you want to accomplish, even if it's just something tomorrow that you want to do, that you make a small step towards that. I guarantee you won't regret it. You won't regret it.
Meg, you have shared an incredible success story and an inspiring one, and we thank you as well for this wage transparency legislation. Let's make sure we go to that website. What is it once again?
www.wagetransparency.org.
And let's support her in this journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.